Is your flying hero guy like super Chadley? I wonder if he could fly back there and take on the enemy hero 1v1.
Keep on mind, any damage to the hero is just going to go to the Liege Guard and get reduced drastically. He won't hurt him. We might, because like if I hit the hero, the damage goes to the Liege Guard and it's reduced. If I hit the Liege Guard, then it's just the damage without the reduction.
Is there a world where you can basically go through the bridge with as many units as possible, kind of like push for it?
With him squeezing on both sides? I don't know.
I don't know. I think he's like, in terms of this war of attrition, it's not going too terribly. It's hard. Like, I feel like when this is done, the Liege Guards are still going to be alive and everything else is going to be dead on both sides. But maybe he can actually find a way to kill them. I don't know. Because everything that isn't a Liege Guard is dying.
Yes! Gotta freeze.
Huge. And if he does have like anti-magic tincture in his build, which I imagine he probably does, he can remove the freeze on one side or the other, but he can't do both sides of the field at the same time.
That is the last mammoth.
I'm just wondering because his character is close to the front lines, and he only has really one healthy Liege Guard in the way. You could possibly get a surround on the character.
Yeah, maybe.
All I'm gonna say is, get you a girl who looks at you the way Muck loves his mammoth. That's I've never
I'll be
never
honest,
seen someone
like,
so in love with a summon.
I love the Primal faction. The Mammoth is alright. My favorite, not like whole kit, but my favorite animal summon is the Stormbird. Because it does a ranged attack, and it does damage, and it sunders their resistance. So every time it hits harder. So it'll shoot you 3 times in a turn. It'll do like 5, 6, 7, and next turn be like 8, 9, 10. And also, it's the only one I think you can summon on water battles, so that's helpful too. So the Mammoth is kind of a meme I've leaned into because I liked freezing everything.
Well,
in case we ever have to defend a large port city, I'll keep that in mind. Thunderbird, got it.
just in the defense of the Mammoth here, first of all, it's a charge unit, so its damage comes from charging, right?
Yeah.
But the freeze is also really, really solid. It's just you don't have ways to remove status effects effectively, and Bomb just has 9 status resistance on his entire army, so it's very difficult for you to actually capitalize on the freeze.
I think he can kill my tier 4 spider this turn. I gave it some patch healing last turn. I don't know if I can save it.
You haven't used your revive on your hero yet, have you?
The big mass heal I have.
No, the single target res, or do you not spec into that?
I know of the single target, like, spawn a zombie out of a corpse thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
The left side of the Ritualist tree has a res a single unit once per battle thing.
The ritual?
No, he took the Swift one.
Gotcha.
Oh, so you're saying it's a restore option. Yeah, I took the Swift one that lets you heal and damage at the same time.
I was not expecting such an intense fight right off the bat today.
I wasn't either. I had a dumb, and here we are.
This is juicy though.
Dang.
Well, if we manage to get our 3-man fight against Bomb just as main stack, that should be an interesting fight too.
Yomok, happy 100k subs. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. If you use Berserk spell and then the restore that removes bad statuses, does that remove the Berserk and then you just have massive buffs? Maybe, but that would be a lot of combat casting points.
Yeah, it was looking to me like you had it, like it was kind of turning in your favor, but then Bum just is like, actually though, I can just keep summoning what. Like he's
Well,
like,
that's his. Yeah, so he summoned the
crap.
2 tier 2 summon things, and then he reset his cooldowns and summoned them again. So that's the last wave of those.
Every time I try to open the combat log, the game freezes.
He casted Mark Vulnerability.
On who? Did you see the target?
I'm trying to find out now.
What? Oh, that's a banner man. Oh my gosh, all of his units on these lizards, they all look the same. I was like, how did that Leech Guard shoot a bolt? That's all. 2 of his units just hit me and got frozen by retells.
Did he just kick? Did he just attack you and you got a retaliation freeze on it?
Twice.
Huh?
I think it's because of, what is it, Frozen Blades? Like, there's 2 ice damage on all my melee units. If it's not that, I don't know what did it.
Frostblades does extra damage to frozen targets, but it doesn't freeze them. Is it Fury of the Glacial Mammoth? Oh yeah. It's your Fury stacks are freezing him.
He casted the Mark of Invulnerability on the Leech Guard near the bridge. That is very, very low. So it's immune to damage for a turn.
Alright, thank you.
I wonder if effects that insta-kill units goes through invulnerability. Because it doesn't do damage, it's just an auto-kill with a percentile.
What's an example of an insta-kill thing?
The Reaper.
The warrior hero class has it in his tree. I think also Death Knights have it. It's a free action to kill, to roll the die basically on the kill percentage-wise based on how low their health is. The lower the health, the higher the chance.
Yeah, execute. Warriors can use that. Execute comes to mind, and then the Reaper from the Shadow Tree comes to mind as something that just points at you and says die, and you do it.
And you do it.
Yeah, I think my leader has execute, if I remember correctly.
This hero does not have Slippery, by the way.
Yeah, the main problem is just that 100% of the damage to the hero goes to the Leech Guard, and then...
Yeah.
So I gotta deal with the other stuff first. Okay, so the Giga Regen just wore off. Alright, what do we got? What do we got?
What I'm seeing now is I need Searing Blades yesterday to deal with all these plant-type units that are weak to fire.
Yeah, going General Fire would be decent against him. But even then, his fire resistance is 50%.
that because it's frozen and can't retell.
Oh, nice. He froze that one too. You're getting a lot of freezes off.
Lucky me. That's a pleasant surprise. I did not really think about that perk of the mammoth thing. Froze that too. Right, That's another permanent unit.
I gotta say, Mark, you're doing a lot better than I expected this fight was gonna go. Very good job.
Thank you. I hope it keeps going well.
Yeah, I'm also I guess your army is deceptively strong. Like there's a lot more CC and staying power here, like between the heals and all the freezing.
Staying
Yeah,
power I was
believe-
aiming for. The freezing has been a surprise for both of us. Like, I knew I did bonus ice damage. I didn't realize how often it could go off to freeze targets solid. Especially with, like, all its enchants and stuff. I'm surprised how often I'm landing it.
You know, it's actually kind of reminiscent of my fight in the harbor, because at the start of that fight I was like, well, I'm gonna lose. I'll just try to do some damage on the way out, but then it went, you know, surprisingly well.
Okay, so I'm looking. My hero is the guy on the riding the dragon. Which, by the way, during the big battle that we had yesterday, I stole this dragon from him. That's where I got it.
Nice.
I could fly over and do a hit on his leader. It says it will do a bit of damage. I don't know if it's lying to me or if it's going to break the bond somehow. I don't know if the bond has a limit.
It lies sometimes. I've seen it lie in the context of like accuracy. Like it shows you the damage assuming everything hits.
Right.
I've seen it lie in the case of a fumble or a graze. If your guy has low morale and fumbles his attack, or if the opponent has enough evasion to get a graze, you won't do full damage. And slip away. If the opponent has slip away, it'll show you the red skull like you're gonna kill them, but then when you hit them, they actually like slip away to safety. So it does lie sometimes. I couldn't tell you about this whole leech guard mechanic though.
If you freeze him, that would be great too.
Now, if I use movement and then hit him, it would do, you know, one swing. Or
get
I could, you know, be
behind?
doing damage into these things. Ah, screw it. I'll try it. It would be huge if it works, right? I did a slow. The damage definitely transferred. Let's see. Slither hatchlings. Wait, where?
The only issue now is like those two leech guards can turn around and both attack your hero in the back and you get flanked hard.
Well, he can just fly away with his second wind thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's gonna eat a ton of damage is all.
2 attacks or 1 attack from each because they lose attacks if they move. But yeah, it could be a lot of damage.
I didn't even notice that other hero off to the left flank until just now. He has a second healer.
Yeah, he's been doing some little dinky summons over there.
Also, do you have the ability to make the terrain frozen before the fight like this? Because I noticed your mammoths have frenzy when they fight on Arctic terrain.
I didn't realize that. I'll note that for the future. But no, the tome I'm currently researching would give me that ability.
Also, Muck didn't really choose to initiate this fight. I don't know if he would have had time to get the ice sheet thing down if he knew this fight was coming, but
Well, I was just wondering if he has the ability to make a terrain frozen before he initiates fights. I'm not specifically talking about this interaction here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because your frozen mammoths literally get frenzy when they're on frozen terrain, so I was wondering if you have ability to do that.
Gotcha. Don't have much left here. I just got a few combat casting points left. I'm trying to figure out the best thing to do with them. I think it's going to be the buff that I gave Fairlight so many times during his battle. It buffs animals or cavalry. So I'm going to do it on the squad on the left side that's actively killed 2 permanent units so far is all animals.
Yeah, you're winning the left flank and losing the right flank hard, so you need your left flank to run over everything as fast as it can so that it can wrap back to help.
Chat telling me he could gank the hero on the left. Yeah, he's also connected to a Liege Guard, though.
But he has no resistances. Well, 25%,
Yeah.
I guess, is less damage.
So let me ask you this: if a Liege Guard it has let's say a million status resist, and the hero has 0, and I hit the hero with a freeze, and it moves to the Liege Guard, could it freeze it, or would it hit the Liege Guard's resistances?
I don't think status is transfer.
Okay.
However, that same logic applies. Like, the healer on the left has so little armor and resistance, it might still be more effective to bash them, so the damage goes through and starts killing the Liege Guard rather than hitting the Liege Guard directly with its really high armor and resistance.
That makes sense. Okay. Looking at the battlefield, the summoned snake and stone elemental on the bridge are summoned, as well as my 1 remaining mammoth. Those will disappear over time. Let's see, the lesser tide spirit on the left-hand side is also temp. And the frozen bird in the back.
Yeah, his main guy also doesn't have a lot of resistances.
Yeah, well, then maybe I'll continue trying the plan that we proposed of having the flying guy keep hitting him. The mammoth that's in his face, when is it going to disappear? I'm trying to click on it. Okay, the mammoth is going to disappear on the next turn or the one after. Oh, my Spirit Wolf. Can he kill it? Any more action points near there? Yeah, if he brings a Liege Guard around, he could kill that Spirit Wolf. Hitting the giant. Yeah, the giant has people on both sides. No matter which way I turned him, he was going to get hit in the back. Ooh, nice move. Alright, so the Earth Elemental warped into the middle of all that and then did an AoE. Yeah, I was imagining he was going to try to go for those Warlocks. They've done good damage to him. Is there a range limit on the Liege thing? Could the Mammoth charge it out of range? I think the Mammoth is going to despawn at the start of the next turn, and I did try that earlier, but the knockback was resisted. I don't think there's a range limit, but I did have the same thought earlier, but the test failed. ask your team. My chat is wondering if there is a range limit on the, how do you just spawn a Warbreed? Is there a range limit on the beam?
On the beam? You mean the connections things?
The bond, yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
The only range limit is on establishing it in the first place. It's 4 tiles, but then they can wander wherever they want.
Gotcha. How did he just spawn a Warbreed? Let's see, Monstrous
He has...
Rebirth.
It's a spell that lets you take a low HP unit that's about to die and turn it into a Warbreed instead. And that Warbreed is going to hit you for...
a lot.
All of the damage. Power Cleave does 46 damage in an AoE. Or its Charging Strike does 41 damage, and if it kills something, it causes the thing it kills to explode, dealing 20 fire damage in an AoE.
Okay.
I don't think he has Mass Revive, because I think he's already past the casting point.
I think with that summon of the Warbreed, it rules out a Mass Revive. Because if he were going to Mass Revive, he would just be letting his units die and then res them. And plus the Warbreed summon, how much mana does it take? Okay. It doesn't show in the, It doesn't show in the combat log how much mana is spent on it or whatever. Oh wait, it shows it here. 30 casting points for Monstrous Rebirth.
Chaos spell. My first time seeing that.
It's weird, it says it's a tier 5 spell, but you get it out of a tier 3 tome, so I don't know how that works.
Spells go up to like tier 9 or something. It's when I was talking about our previous game, I was like, oh, I can summon the Reaper who's tier 8, and you're like, oh, that's impossible. It's because it was the tier 8 spell or something.
No, I never noticed that. If you mouse over a body on the ground, it says "Here lies," like it's a tombstone. Here lies, and then it tells you the name of the unit.
Yeah, it's very interesting. This game definitely has a lot of love put into it, and there's a lot of cool details. But then there's some obvious things that need to be present, like proper information on spells cast and stuff like that.
So he summoned the Warbreed and then healed it up to full.
On the bright side, after the fight, that Warbreed disappears. It's a temporary summon, but
Yeah.
doesn't help you in the current moment.
Right. Let's see.
Unfortunately, it's also a mandatory unit for you to kill to finish the fight. Because there's some summons that, if you kill everything else outside of it, the fight just ends. fact that you can just keep summoning these mammoths is insane.
I can't summon
take-
anymore. I'm out.
Yeah, they take casting points, right? So he's out.
Though each animist can summon one per fight after they charge up, and then there's a spell that takes 30 casting points, and I've used the spell all the times I can this fight.
I thought your animus can do it indefinitely, but from Val's perspective, that makes sense.
Six.
Warbreed has 16 status resist. Somehow I don't think you're going to be able to freeze it.
Well, that wasn't a full round of attacks from my hero on his lord with the bond.
I didn't see how much health that leash guard had when you started it. Was it full health?
It was not full health, no. It was
Gotcha.
slightly less injured than it currently is. Let's see. Was hoping for a freeze, no dice though.
Oh god. I see what you were going for with the freeze, but you've pushed it into a perfect cleave position to do 150 damage next turn.
Yeah.
I don't suppose your ruler can walk out of there.
I can teleport out of there. I bought Demon Step from the merchant. What's the cooldown on Demon Step? 2 turns.
It does a decent damage.
Yeah, it would do more damage plus healing if I do an actual attack, though, so I think it's better to Demon Step back and then hit something. It's just a matter of what do we want to hit. Let's see, if I hit that guy, it'll heal the totem, don't care. If I hit that guy, it'll heal the bear.
Yeah, I don't know. Your mage and all 3 of your healers are gonna get run over next turn. It might be time to start contemplating hitting the retreat.
Something to consider, that attack you just did applies decaying, so he can't heal those units.
Dang, that Spirit Wolf thing hits like a truck.
Yeah.
That unit is very good.
It also has Resurgence. Dude, that Warbreed in the back pocket. Oh, muck him. He made me feel like there was a chance. Just dangled the carrot in front of me. And then he pulls this thing out.